Hello and welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, your go-to place for everything Rocket League with your hosts, K-Cube, AJ Binky, and Red. So lean forward, lock in, and get ready to go Boost Over Ball.
Oh, I will say, for my Quilly idea, I was just saying like a Quilly's question idea, like the end, you're like, what's the Quilly question? I just be like, something stupid. Like my stupid question, it's like, if there's one color from the color wheel you could eliminate, what would it be? Or if I was like, if there was one player, one OG RLCS player that you could take and put on the current team roster, who would it be? Obviously, answer Garrett G on NRG.
Okay, that's a good question. We did I did transition us so people can hear us now. I just want to make sure that you. What?
I said they're hearing the behind the scenes now.
Oh yeah. Well, we're waiting on Red, but like I already tweeted that we were gonna be live, so like no point in waiting.
Oh well, he's back. Is he back?
I'm back.
And we're back. It's my favorite part of the episode. The one DC.
Yeah, I'm hopefully getting that fixed this weekend. I'm working. One of my friends is a network engineer, so he's gonna help me work out some of it. Because like I have gigabyte internet, this shouldn't happen. Like I shouldn't drop off as much as I do.
Once per.
Mm-hmm. At least.
Sometimes two, if we're lucky.
Yeah. Certainly seems like more than that, but you know, whatever. But for people that are tuning in, I don't know, you know, there's a couple people that are in here right now. But you know, Red is finishing up a tournament right now, and then will be joining us shortly. But in the meantime, I guess we can get started, and you know, Red just needs to be here mostly for the blind resume section, because I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, are you ready to go? At least until Red gets here?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Well, hello and welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast. To listeners new and old, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle, K-Cube, and I'm joined by Quilly. How's it going? How's it hanging?
It is good. I'm happy to be here. Grand old time. One of the best times I could ever. The best thing I could be doing is talking cardball. As long as K-Cube is here. Issue number 1.
I am here.
Is not here. Okay, he is here.
I was fixing my camera. It froze for some reason.
I was just making sure I wasn't just talking to the void.
Yeah, no. And also, like, it's weird. We've talked about it before, but when I DC, I can still hear everything. I just can't say anything. It's the weirdest thing. Like the cameras go away, and I check the frame rate, and I'm like, oh, you know, we're dropping some frames, but I can still hear everything. Like the recording still picks it up. It's the weirdest thing. It is the absolute weirdest thing.
Don't talk smack about K-Cube when he seems to be offline. He's actually always listening.
Big Brother is always watching. But today we got an action-packed episode for you. We'll be wrapping up our talk about Open number 2 with final results from NA, MENA, OCE, and SSA. We will be recapping the current points for each region. We will finish off with the new segment called Blind Resume. We will be comparing 5 players that, you know, I have compiled to Drawly. We're going to be focusing on the 2024 RLCS season, as I could not find up-to-date stats for the current season. So we're going to be doing 2024 only. So, you know, we will compare Drawly's stats to those of these other 5 pros. And when Red gets here, you and Red will get to guess who those are. And I will, you know, we'll talk about it at the end. And then we'll finish off with Quilly's Q&A. So without further ado, let's just jump right into SSA. We have our teams making the top 8 through the upper bracket. We have Hay with Riz. We have Maestros del Federico, Limitless, Cosmico Esports, and through the lower bracket, we have Labosh, Cristobal Cologne, 77 Blocks, and Mustu Fluck. So that sets up a top 4 matchup of Limitless versus Hay with Riz, and Maestros versus Cosmico, where Limitless finds themselves in yet another grand finals date with Maestros, and Limitless falls 4-2. This now sets it's a one-spot region, right? So only one team from SSA will make it to the major. And currently, Maestros del Esferico with 30 points, Limitless with 20 points, Hey with Riz with 14, and Cosmico Esports with 12. So even if Maestros del Esferico did not compete, did not make it, Cosmico and Hey with Riz are no longer eligible to take the spot. So with that being said, a grand finals appearance guarantees, or actually a top 4 guarantees Maestros del Esferico's place in as EU number 5 at the Birmingham Major.
It's brutal.
So it's an all Spanish team. You kind of, we've talked about it before. We kind of hate to see the
import merchants.
Yep, that team is Torres, Leoro, and VK Salen. Most notably, saying that he plans to try and make an RLCS major from every region. He is certainly on his way to doing that from SSA. Though, to his credit, they are, playing, competing. They're there, right? They're in the region. They're actually maybe contributing to the ecosystem. Who, we won't know for sure. But, at least they're competing in region, which is good. But nevertheless, still would like to see Limitless go.
It's brutal, but I mean, to play devil's advocate, if none of these teams could beat this team, then do they really belong playing or being in a tournament with the likes of K Corp and Vitality, teams that would just absolutely dominate them? Obviously, this is a region. It's just me playing devil's advocate, but it's their region. They deserve to be showing for their region, because this is where they play, and this is what their environment they've been all coming up on. And just to have have an entire import team just come and just dominate is a little upsetting to see.
Yeah, and I mean, like, realistically, and we've talked about it a little bit before, and people on the broadcast talk about it. It's hard for some of the, like, when you go to lands or when you go to majors and you go to worlds, it's hard for some of these SSA teams, for these APAC teams, to find scrims against the upper level competition. But that's really what it's about, right? You get scrims, you get to play against the best teams in the world to hopefully take some of the lessons that you learn back to your region and help continue to build your ecosystem, continue to make your region grow, continue to try and make things more competitive for you. But it doesn't always work that way, unfortunately. So, and especially in this case, VK Salen is a player who's competed for making majors in the past in EU. It's been a while since that happened. Most notably, they did not make it. Last year they got beaten out by Limitless, but it certainly seems like they are firmly in the driver's seat for this last major spot from SSA.
Yeah, that one quick last thing I'd say about this team. I don't want to keep dunking on them, but like, this is also taking away the opportunity for any of these like players that have never seen or been to a LAN to compete. This is taking away an opportunity or a chance for them to do that and represent SSA. Again, it's very brutal for them. So hopefully we can see the 2/3 rule get put into effect sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I hope so too. But OCE, this was a bit of a weird one. Our top 8 qualifying through uppers, we have Healthy Chiefs, we have Wildcard, we have Scrims World, which is formerly I Love Strawby, TSM, and through lowers, we have Prodigy, RTT, Oi Oi, and Power. With your top 4 being TSM and Chiefs, and then Wildcard and Scrims World. We then have a grand finals matchup of Scrims World and TSM. As I mentioned before, Scrims World is the former I Love Strawby roster. That being Caleb, Laxon, Lunar, coached by Adam Baguette, and Wildcard, or TSM being Amphis, Super Lucky, Kaka. Wildcard being Fever, Torsas, Banana Head, and Healthy Chiefs is Hunter, Fiber, and Raziers. The region import, but it's only the 1/3. So Scrims World is able to take down TSM 4-3, and that sets up quite an interesting open number 3, as we have now had different winners for each of the opens. We've had different top 2 even, right? So in open 1, it was Wildcard taking down Chiefs, with TSM and Power finishing 3rd and 4th. And in open number 2, it's, Scrims World first, taking down TSM. Then we have Chiefs and Wildcard finishing 3rd, 4th. So basically swapping, 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th from the last time. But, that there's everything to play for. So the point standing, and there's 2 OCE spots for the major. We have Scrims World with 20 points. We have Healthy Chiefs with 17. We have TSM with 17. We have Oi Oi with 10. And we have Power with 10. Sorry, Wildcard with 22, Scrims World 20, Healthy Chiefs 17, TSM 17, Oi Oi and Power both with 10. Sorry, I missed Wildcard on that one. So as of right now, if the major was happening in a couple of weeks and the spots were, we weren't playing open 3, it would be Wildcard and Scrims World. So not exactly the team that I thought we'd be seeing here, Scrims World. Fantastic job by them, great showing, great win. But I mean, I think a lot of us really thought it was Wildcard and Chiefs region to lose.
Yeah, and that they're doing at the moment, but again, this goes back to the SSA region. These minor regions, it's anyone's game. The skill diff isn't as big, and these teams can push forward to take advantage of this opportunity. And Wildcard and Scrims World at the moment are doing that. The tournament bracket, the ending result, not even close to what I would have expected coming out of this weekend. So it's great to see the diversity in regions, and the fact that any team can make it out of it keeps it interesting, and keeps new faces coming into the LAN scene. So congrats to the teams that are pushing, and Wildcard or Scrims World to win it at all. It's a huge feat. And looking forward to see what happens in Open 3, because it can go anyway.
It certainly can. So everything to play for these OCE teams in Open number 3. You will have to pay attention to see who is going to come out victorious from that, and basically punch their ticket to Birmingham. Next, we have MENA, another interesting result for the grand finals. Not necessarily interesting in terms of who was there, but interesting in the result. But our teams making top 8 through upper bracket, we have Twisted Minds, Team X, Team Falcons, and Infinity. And through lower brackets, we have Awa Awa, Nightmare, Al Kadsaya, and MTS. Our top 4 was Falcons versus Team X, in which Falcons won, and Twisted Minds versus MTS. So I'd like to first point out that in these semifinal matchups, Falcons took down Team X 4-2, whereas Twisted Minds swept MTS to set up a grand finals matchup between, basically the almost guaranteed the 2 major teams from the region, right? I don't really see a world where it's not Falcons Twisted Minds. But what a grand finals. Falcons jump out to a very quick, very decisive 2-game lead. They win 6-1, 5-0. Twisted Minds take their timeout and then win 5-1. And you're thinking, okay, maybe they've stabilized a little bit. Maybe, maybe we got something going here. But Falcons are able to take game 4, 4-2. Then Twisted Minds win game 5, 4-3. Falcons take their timeout, but it does not matter, as Twisted Minds wins game 6, 4-1, and game 7, 3-1. So all that being said, Twisted Minds take down Team Falcons 4-3 in the grand finals to win open number 2. Did you have Twisted Minds beating Falcons on your bingo card?
I'm a huge fan of Rise, so I'm always rooting for them. I cannot say I was predicting them to beat Falcons. I thought eventually, if they keep playing them enough, they got to take one of them. But to have that 3-1 comeback was insane, especially on the grand final stage. It was crazy, a great showing out of Twisted Minds, and yeah, that series was insane. I was I think the grand finals are going towards when NA was starting, or a little bit of a buffer, getting close to it. So
Yeah, the
I
grand
did
finals
tune in.
was during the semifinals, during the NRG Evo match.
Yeah, so it was close, but that was the one series that I was cutting back to, because obviously it's the grand finals and it is two of the biggest teams, not only in MENA, but these are two of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, and for people who are a little bit, or who haven't seen, who are under a rock, who haven't remembered, the Twisted Minds team is Rise, Atomic with a K, EU Atomic, and Nuepo, and Falcons is still TRK, Rawas, and Killers. So certainly a lot of star power on these two teams. Great for the region and for RLCS as a whole to see Twisted Minds taking down Falcons. In my personal opinion, I think that that's awesome. And that sets up a very spicy open number 3 for MENA, where we have Falcons at 25 points, Twisted Minds at 25 points, MTS at 12, and Awa Awa and Al Kadsaya at 10 points. So in order for Awa Awa and Al Kadsaya to make the major, I think that they would need Falcons and Twisted Minds to not even make the main event, which I don't think will happen. And then MTS would need them to crash out in the very first opportunity. But I don't think that will happen either. So realistically, this is going to be winner takes all for seeding, but I think Falcons and Twisted Minds both have done just about enough to punch their ticket.
Yeah, I think is the MENA region, obviously top 2 are a lot more, they're going to be 2 of the more obvious picks. So yeah, see how the rest of it shakes out.
Indeed. And then last but certainly not least, we have NA. So first, we do have to talk about SSG. Not again, we talked about it a little bit last week. NRG.
Do we have to? Can we leave it last week when I wasn't?
Yeah. Well, SSG not making the cut, finishing 10th in their Swiss B, and dropping to Gen G and Pioneers in subsequent rounds to miss out on the main event. However, from a points perspective, I don't know that things could have gone much better for them based on how the results panned out. So, they are still in the running, which we'll talk about here in a second. But our teams qualifying for the top 8 through the upper bracket, we have Complexity and the Ultimates, NRG, and Team Evo. And then in the lower brackets, we have Shopify Rebellion, Deleted Gaming, 9 Lives, and Nether Lamera Canada. God, I thought we were done with that team, so I didn't have to say that name anymore. But in the upper bracket quarterfinals, we have the Ultimates taking down Team Complexity in 7 games, and we have NRG dispatching Team Evo 4 games to 2. In the lower bracket, we have Shopify taking Deleted Gaming out in 7.
Do 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 do. Oh,
we're back. We have 9 Lives taking down Nether Lamera Canada in 5. We then have Complexity taking down Shopify 4 games to 2. That one was a little bit interesting as they traded games. Shopify won game 1 and 3, and Complexity won the rest. We have Team Evo making quick work of 9 Lives 4-1 with 2 over 5-minute overtime games, a 6-minute and a 5-minute overtime. So lots of overtime there. It just seemed like 9 Lives could not capitalize on any of their shooting. They were hitting posts. They were missing open nets. They were just missing each other on some infield passing plays. Just did not seem like they were firing on all cylinders. And that sets us up for a top 4 of NRG and Complexity and the Ultimates versus Team Evo. So NRG takes down Complexity 4 games to 1, and the Ultimates are able to take down Team Evo in 6. That was another one that I think ended a little bit prematurely. I thought Evo played very well. I thought that they missed out in game 1 and in game 5. So, congratulations to them for making a top 4, but, I feel like they left a little bit on the table there. And then we have our grand finals matchup, NRG taking down the Ultimates 4-2. That, while First Killer, towards the back half of that series really, tried to do everything he could to will this team to victory, it was not enough. We have a 7-minute overtime in game 3. We have a 2-minute overtime in game 4, a 30-second overtime in game 5, and a 1-0 win to wrap up the series in game 6 for NRG. So, before we do the point standings, we mostly focus on NA on this podcast. So I figure this is a good place, as good a place as any to talk about our thoughts. First and foremost, at least for me, is anybody in NA going to beat NRG? Can anybody in NA beat NRG?
As long as it's first of 3 games, SSG is unstoppable against them because they've put up 3 wins against them twice now. Getting that 4th win, different story. But it doesn't seem like it. No matter what any team throws at them, it really doesn't seem like they're ever it doesn't seem like the opposing team ever really has a chance. It seems like the first half of the game, even if the other team is winning on NRG, it's just like NRG's just taking it slow and just like waiting to remember that they're NRG, and we'll just flip the switch and they're just running the craziest pass plays. Daniel's just freestyling on people, beast mode's diming them up, or Atomics playing insane. So the team NRG is just unstoppable. It really doesn't seem like any team that they're going against is ever actually going to beat them in a elimination setting.
Yeah, I mean, they seem like they have too much star power. They have too much talent. It seems like when they want to, they can score at will. And then, also they're one of the most stingy defenses in, not only in NA but in the world. So I just find it very hard to believe that someone from NA is going to beat them. I am extremely interested to see how they can perform against like a Twisted Minds or a Falcons or any of the teams from EU, as we've seen them do that recently, but we have not seen them run up against this iteration of Vitality or this iteration of KC. So I'm extremely intrigued to see that happen in Birmingham, as they have punched their ticket. The next question that I have is, do we have to consider Evo a top 4 NA team? They've made both main events. They've done pretty well. A top 6 and a top 4.
Yeah, because I think a lot of them are a lot of, you could go either way with a lot of these teams, but Evo showed that they could they weren't just winning, they were dominating plenty of these teams. It was an insane run that they went on to make it as deep into this as they did. It was very impressive. But yeah, they were genuinely dominating teams that they seemed to be the underdog going into it. Over that chemistry between Arju, Speed, and I can't remember the relating wave. They were just an insane trio. They only got 2 of them in room. They got one of them. I see the camera. He's just in a completely different as his own room. But that team just plays together so fast, so fluidly. I think their chemistry over everything, and it shows when they are taking down some of the top teams. And if you're the CEO of SSG or whoever runs the Rocket League department, you are sending flowers to Evo for the work they did this weekend for them.
Yeah. So the reason for the separate rooms is it's for CRL. That's why they're in North America. Speed and Relating Wave are, they're on Maryville. Arju is on St. Clair Green. Yeah. So that's why they're here in North America. I'm not going to call them, region transfers or region jumpers or whatever you want to call it. They're here for scholarships to play CRL, and they've decided that they're going to compete in RLCS, and they're playing very well, right? They've played themselves into a tie for 5th in NA. They have every opportunity to make a main event in 2025. Speed, the potential to make a main event, that's like a LAN. That's kind of crazy. It's not something that I thought I'd see again, but congratulations to them. I thought that they played very well. I think they deserve their flowers. This is, however, basically, Relating Wave was talking about it, and he said, "Oh, Speed went Thanos that series. That's the best I've ever seen him play." When they were able to take down 9 lives. So I will be interested to see if they can repeat, kind of catch lightning in a bottle a second time, and take their ticket or punch their ticket to the major. But also SSG will be looking to come back with some vengeance after not playing in Open number 2. So they will have to do a little bit more than they did the last time to try and get some points. But the last question that I have is: have Ultimates finally figured it out? They looked a little bit better in this Open than they did the last one. Looks like Chronic is finally starting to find his place on the team. The Ultimates were able to beat Complexity, who I thought, was the better team, was a better team. They're able to beat Team Evo, and they took 2 games off NRG, which is more than people can say from the last time. So do you think they figured it out? Are they starting to gel more? Are they, really that number 2 NA team that we've been waiting for?
Yeah, I definitely think they solidified themselves as only the number 2 NA team, because obviously they're not getting past NRG. If you watch that series, when literally, I'm not exaggerating, literally the only one that scored was First Kill. Did he go the rest of the entirety of the series? I think he went I think he either had 99 or 100% of the goals in that series against NRG. It was truly insane. The fall off there for them, but going up until that, the Ultimates were a dominant team. They have, I believe, in my opinion, solidified themselves as the number 2 in NA, but I believe they are still susceptible to being challenged in that spot, because I feel all it takes is one little mistake, or it seems like you can get in their head. But as long as they keep playing like they did in this last Open, they should have no problem keeping that number 2 spot in NA.
I mean, I would tend to agree. We looking at the point standings for NA currently, we have NRG in first with 30. We have the Ultimates in second with 15. In third, very closely behind, we have Complexity with 14. In fourth, we have 9 Lives with 12. In fifth, we have Space Station and Team Evo both tied with 10, Deleted with 8. In seventh, Rebellion with 7 in eighth. Then Gen G, Omelet, Pirates on a Boat, Nether Canada, Gas, Was Up, Pioneers, Revelation, Strictly Business, Talladega, Tree Lamp, Woo, Verstaland, and Tech, who, Tech Tua or Talk Tua, not able to play in Open number 2, and basically sealing their fate. As a win for them, they would need everyone else to pretty much crash out instantly, and for the top 4, or basically the top 10 to not even compete. So really, to me at least, it looks like a 6-team race for these top 4 spots. NRG notably has already locked up a major spot. However, they're playing for seeding, and and for glory, the fact that they could take all 3 regionals in the split would be another crowning achievement for them. But Ultimates, Complexity, 9 Lives, Space Station, and Team Evo are 5 teams competing for 2 spots. So three of these teams that I think are kind of deserving won't get to go. At least to me, the Ultimates look like they've kind of stabilized and figured it out. I'd pick them to probably finish in the top 4. I think Complexity looked pretty good. I think that they've, maybe not had the high end results that we've come to know and expect from them, but they've been steady, right? 7 points in each of the first 2 Opens, top 4s, nothing more, nothing less. I think, I'd expect him to make another top 4. I think I'd expect him to, to lock up that 3rd spot. But then, realistically, is Space Station gonna make it out of the Swiss stage, the double Swiss stage? Are they gonna be able to group a Team Evo or a 9 Lives in the playoff bracket, pretty early on to try and, help their odds? But really it comes down to who can make a top 4 between 9 Lives, Space Station, and Evo. And I think that is the team that is going to get that last spot.
Yeah, could go anyway. It's going to be interesting to see who gets these final 2 spots, assuming Ultimates takes number 2 or takes one of them. But the points are so close. All it takes is one team to pull an SSG and not make it, or get bounced real early and only get a couple of points to really shoot your chances in the foot. Every single game going into this Open 3 is going to be so important. So I believe we're going to be seeing possibly the best Rocket League in NA we have seen to date.
I agree wholeheartedly. I'm very excited to see what happens. We have a little bit of a break in RLCS action until that happens. This weekend will be the Open qualifiers for the other regions that we have not talked about. So EU, SAM, APAC, and those three. And then the weekend after will be the main event for that. And then, NA, OCE, MENA, and SSA's qualifiers. Also, the next CRL Open will be this weekend as well. So we'll be talking about that with you next week as well. But now we will be wrapping up talking about, the regions that we have not talked about yet, their point standing, starting out with SAM. SAM is another 2-team region. We currently have Furia with 30 points, Team Secret with 20, Godfidence with 12, Blazar, Corinthians, and Sunset all with 10. To me, it certainly seems like it's going to be Furia Secret, as Furia has won both Opens, and Team Secret has been second place in both of them, so I see no reason for that to change. I would expect Furia and Secret to be your two SAM representatives. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, especially with how many points they have already, it's really hard for any team to try and top them. It's a safe 2, kind of an obvious 2 at this point in the standings.
Okay. Next up, we have APAC. It's a 1-region spot. Currently in first place, we have Luminosity with 30 points, Elevate with 20, Locomotive with 4, Dekubopdem with 12, and Overlooked at 12. I don't think you guys, Quilly, you'll be able to hear it, but I think that, if I play on the soundboard, that the audience can hear it. So, well, I played it, so, I don't think you heard it, but I think they did. But it certainly seems like this is Luminosity's region to lose at this point. A Grand Finals appearance clinches their spot. They just have to finish 1 place better than Elevate to ensure that they make the major. And Locomotive cannot catch Luminosity, Dekubopdem, and Overlooked cannot catch them either. It's literally just Elevate. So as long as they outperform Elevate, they will be your APAC representative. Do you have anybody other than Luminosity making the major?
It's a 1-horse race. Elevate have a water gun to a house fire chance.
Fair. And then last but not least, we have SSA. We've talked about it a little bit earlier, but again, just to repeat it, Maestros del Esferico, 30 points, Limitless 20, Hey with Riz 14, Cosmico with 12. Hey with Riz and Cosmico cannot catch Maestros del Esferico. It is just between Maestros and Limitless. Limitless will need to win the event, and they will need Maestros to finish top 4 and not make a grand finals. They have to finish 2 places better than them. So I don't unfortunately really see a world where Maestros don't make a grand finals, and if they do, they've solidified their spot. So with that, my bet for the team to come out of SSA would be EU number 5, Maestros del Esferico.
Yeah, there's not really much way around it. It's the odds are stacked against Limitless. See what they can do with it, but don't call it a comeback. They've been here for a week. I don't know how it works in the situation. It's definitely not been years, but. Yeah, good luck to the teams. Good luck to Limitless in the fight to climb the mountain.
Indeed. So the last 2 segments that we will have for today's episode are going to be the blind resume and Quilly's Q&A. So in a bid to try and stall a little bit more time for Red to show up because he's trying to finish up a tournament that he's in right now, do you want to do a Q&A first before we jump into the blind resume?
Yeah, I got 2 questions off the top of the dome.
Okay.
First one, just keep it fresh, because I gave you the idea. If you could take one OG RLCS player and drop them on that same team and swap out one player, who would it be and why?
Like they have to come back and play for the team that they used to play for.
Yep.
But we're talking like prime,
Yeah.
like peak of their abilities.
Yes.
Prime.
Assuming it translates to today's
right. Yeah, like
yeah.
I got you. There's kind of two that jump out to me. I mean, Garrett G and NRG is you know.
Who would you sub him out for? Disconnect. That's who he'd sub
Maybe
him out
Atomic. Atomic or Daniel would be my guess. I'm back. Atomic or Daniel is my pick.
Or Daniel. What would lead you to picking Daniel over Atomic?
I think that Atomic has been one of the most consistent players in NRG. Well, G2, but NRG2 has been one of the most consistent players in NRG2. And I did a deep dive into the stats today. I think that Atomic is underrated in NA Rocket League. NA Atomic is who I'm talking about here. But the other one that comes to mind for me, at least, is Cronovi and Pioneers.
Give them some life.
I think Aqua, Cronovi, JNAPS would be a wild team in 2025.
Especially with modern JNAPS, not even like prime JNAPS. You're getting him who's still fighting, still impressing in the NA scene.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely too. I think my obvious choice, because I'm not too good with all the old names. It would just be Garrett G. Garrett G. Swap him out with Atomic.
I'd love to bring Squishy in, but C9 is not fielding a roster right now. I think
for now.
Would do you take an Arsenal and put Arsenal on SSG right now?
That's the other one. That would be that could be a play, because Arsenal when he was playing with Little Step Bros, he was hard carrying. Not to say anything too bad about Alpha or Guh. He was definitely hard carrying for the most part, because Alpha he's a couple years retired, and Guh is an unknown rather, or mostly. But yeah, Arsenal, I even think modern Arsenal, like to this day, is still a top player in NA. The retirement was out of nowhere and crazy. But yeah, Arsenal, the only thing I wouldn't say to that is the thing that makes SSG good, ignoring the last open, is that they're all the same age and they're all friends, and they're great together. Like they complement each other well. I think with NRG, Daniel and Beast Mode are so good that you can just throw Garrett G in there, who was great, and they will mesh and take down Thanos, aka K Corp.
So hear me out, right? Big brain, tinfoil hat type stuff. No shade towards Xpair, the current coach of SSG. What if you bring Arsenal in as a coach?
That could be
Arsenal, all-time vibes guy. All-time vibes guy. If you're making an RLCS all vibes team, he's got to be the captain. Like yeah. He's your biggest hype man. He's your biggest supporter. I think he brings the experience and the certainly the caliber of competition that SSG is striving to do. He was a longtime SSG man. I thought that he would stay on SSG until he decided to retire. That was not the case, but I think that would be a very intriguing move to me. And again, I have no basis for this. There's been no rumblings of this. It's Xpair's team to coach. He's been working with the Snowmen since last season, since Team Liquid disbanded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, he's also I don't want to say just as inexperienced, but he's still fresh and new, just like the kids are. So I think having his like you said, his personality. Wait. He said he can hear me, so I'm I think I could keep talking, but if not, I'm just gonna stall
You can keep talking. We're good.
Okay. The knowledge, the veteran leadership, and the experience that he has, I think it would do numbers for this young roster, and I think it would take him places, especially based off how you could see the immaturity it took a toll on their ability to win in Open 2. Just the qualifier, not even the main event, just the qualifier.
Fair. But
yeah, I didn't even think about coaches swapping someone in as a coach. That's a big brain. That is a big brain move.
That was it's certainly something that I, was not. I didn't think about it first. I'll say that.
Secondary question though.
Okay.
We can bring Red into it if we want, but who do you think would have a bigger impact? Swapping Zen with Drolly, or swapping Farah with who's Vitality's coach? Is it
Cassio? I think.
Off the top of the head.
Yeah, it's Cassio. It's Cassio.
Who do you think would have a bigger effect? Swapping Zen and who did I name? Did I say Drolly?
You said
Zen and Drolly, or Farah and Cassio?
I think Farah Cassio. I mean, you saw what Farah did with Zen. He won a world championship. He won. He completed a perfect regional split. 2 years ago now? It seems like so long ago, 2023. But I think that Farah and the whiteboard has revolutionized what people realized was a very important position, right? I think coaching is before Farah was doing the things that he was doing, people widely undervalued what coaches were able to do with LCS rosters.
Yeah, my original question was just going to be, who do you think's better if you swap those two? But then you brought up the coaches, and I was like, wait a minute, Farah's the GOAT.
He certainly is for coaching, at least. I mean, I just think back to Boston, right? You can see your Boston pennant in the backdrop there. Bringing a very hostile crowd onto your side, with the American flags was a genius gesture, and gave them the life and the energy that they needed to complete and win that major, and then ultimately give them the confidence to win a world championship. So I can't give him enough credit for that. It certainly seems like up until it was working an absolute wonder for Karmine Corp. They completed they won the first 3 regionals last year. They didn't have as great of a showing as they wanted in Major 1, and they missed a regional and squeaked into the world championships, and did okay, but people hadn't really seen them in a while, and it looks like they're back on their bullshit. They're sweeping regionals again. It looks like they're absolutely speed bagging people, and spoiler, I think that they'll win they'll win Open number 3 as well. I don't see anybody kind of catching them for that, so I think it will be very intriguing to see what happens, because we will have most likely 2 regions with the number 1 team in those regions winning all 3 Opens. It just seems crazy to me.
Speaking of the Farah move to get NA on his side, do you think any team that's not from France has a chance of not getting absolutely eaten alive at this Worlds?
No.
NRG.
Oh, NRG.
I think NRG might get devoured alive. The booze from this French crowd is going in. The noise levels is going to be insane from this French crowd.
I mean, at the same time, NRG formerly G2 went and on to win the EU major last season.
That was London, though. This is France.
This is London.
This is where the blue wall is from. This is the blue wall.
They have already reserved 950 tickets for the blue wall.
Yeah, that is what caused this question, because the amount of tickets they already have off opening day is insane. It's not this is the great blue wall now. They're forming this wall is going to be this is going to be insane.
I feel like that this team will play better as the villain than they will as the hero. So I think we'll see a still decent. I mean, it's again, G2/NRG has yet to miss a grand final.
Yeah,
the streak has not died yet.
No, their worst finish all of last year was 2nd place.
So we can say they're not in form right now. They're still winning the regional every week. Like, if this is them not in form, what does them in form look like?
I mean, the crowd. I'm just saying, the crowd is going to be I think the crowd. I think you could put double noise canceling headphones on, and the crowd you will hear that crowd.
I mean, to be fair though, BDS, back when they existed, they did that at the Esports World Cup, right? That's as hostile a crowd as you're gonna get, right? As lopsided of a crowd as you're gonna have, and Falcons could not get it done. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm extremely excited to at least see online, what the crowd can do. We're, still trying to work out some logistics to potentially try and go. But, either way, I think it's going to be an incredible atmosphere, and I'm excited to see what happens.
I want to experience that so bad. I just want the blue wall in full effect.
So, Red, the question we got for you now, how did the tournament go?
We ended up losing in game 3 in finals, but hey, the dude had 2,200 tournament MMR. I don't know what you want me to do.
Win.
This guy lives and breathes tournaments.
Backpack harder. I don't know.
And I already spent all my good juju on beating the APAC Oceania Pro. So
fair. Okay, so we saved the blind resume for last. We are going to be, ESPN does a segment like this. They put up, players, usually a quarterback, and then they compare him blindly to other players to show, the kind of stats that they have, the kind of season that they're having, things like that. And so because the stats for this season haven't been finalized due to different opens taking place on different weekends, once the last regional is completed, they will update the stats. So we are going to be basing this off of the 2024 RLCS season. So I have 5 categories for each player. It'll be a total score. So all of the game score from the entire split or from the entire 2024 RLCS season together. We have total goals, total assists, total saves, and total RLCS international trophies, not including Gamers 8, not including FIFA E World Cup, RLCS international LAN events. So the majors and the World Championship. So first off, the player that we're going to be comparing everyone to is Drawley. Drawley with a total score of 66,103. We have 132 goals, 131 assists, and 242 saves. Notably, Drawley won 1 international trophy. He won Worlds with BDS.
We're not counting EWC?
Nope, I didn't count EWC. Just RLCS specific.
Okay.
So the first player that we're going to blindly compare him to had a total game score of 63,961. He had 133 goals, 102 assists, 256 saves, and did not win a RLCS LAN last year.
Did not win LAN. Puts up similar stats, except definitely more of a defensive heavy player. It's more third man because they're not getting a lot of assists.
He's only got 14 more saves and 29 less assists.
Yeah, that's a lot of less assists.
And 0 international trophies.
So he's either on a team that doesn't score a lot or, oh gosh. I mean, he's got also, one more goal. But
I'm not trying to trick. Every player that I've picked went to a major.
All right, so the answer is this is Rise, and the answer is obviously Drawley based off stats.
So you're going with Rise?
Are we supposed to guess the player?
I'll tell you who it is after once. So your guess is Rise?
Yeah.
Okay. A defensive third.
It's got to be someone from K Corp. I feel like it's got to be someone from K Corp. I'm going.
Not an international trophy. Oh God, I'm trying to think of who has international trophies right now. Atau doesn't have a trophy yet, does he?
You got Vitality?
He does not. Atau does not.
Okay.
This is only for the 2024 season.
No, but
2024. Yes, you're correct. 2024.
It's only for last season.
Oh, okay.
I can give you a region too if you'd like.
Oh.
Yeah, let's hear the region.
It's EU. This player's from EU.
I kind of figured. Oh god, jeez, this is tough. I want to say who. Okay, I don't think it's Vatira. There's no shot it's Vatira. It could be Vatira, just purely based off those saves, because that's a lot of save. But he still is active on the offense. I'll lock it at Vatira. We'll lock Vatira.
Okay.
I mean,
The first player is Zen.
Oh, damn it! Really?
Yes.
Vitality, I said it,
56
Vitality.
saves.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean,
I didn't think he was on defense that much on last season, but good
they
lord.
They weren't on offense based off their winning production.
Well,
Yeah. So this is why I'm so excited about this segment and why we might have to do it again more. But it gets even more interesting. So our second player with a total score of 64,829 with 139 goals, 131 assists, 220 saves, and 1 international trophy last season.
so it's not.
I know the player.
It is an NA pro.
It's Laniel. It's Laniel, and I'm picking Laniel over Drawley.
International Trophy NA has a ton of stats across the board, but not a lot. I mean, Laniel's a good guess just based off saves.
Did he win an RLCS LAN last year though?
Yeah, Major 2.
Yes,
Major
I'm yep, you're right.
Well, okay. Well, then it's probably not Laniel then.
It's not him. He's trying to diverse.
Probably not Laniel then.
No, he definitely did. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm blaming it on the meds that I'm taking right now.
So wait, our international trophies are just for the year 2024, right?
Yes. So either Major 1, Major 2, or Worlds.
Wait, but
So what
Mates?
Major 1 was Falcons. No, Major 1 was
it was Mates.
Mates. Major 2 was G2. Major 3 was BDS. Major 3 being World. So it's got to be someone on G2. Is this Atomic?
It is Atomic.
Dang it!
Yes. I was like, there's no way it's B mode.
No.
I was going. That's why I thought it was all offense. I thought it would just be Laniel.
So the craziest part, Atomic is the highest performing G2 player in terms of total score of the G2 players last season.
Is that why you wanted to go with Daniel over Atomic? Is that why he was a
yes.
flip?
Yes.
That makes more sense for the Garrett G take. That makes more sense.
So, but 139 goals, more than Drawley, 131 assists, the exact same, 220 saves, 12 saves less, and 2,000 points, like less than 2,000 points less.
Yeah, I was like 12 saves less and 2,000 points left. So
pretty close.
Drawley just ball chase, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. We got player number 3 now. Total game score of 69,000. Nice. 575. 171 goals, 145 assists, and 253 saves.
Holy stat pad.
So
good lord.
This is a MENA pro.
Oh. MENA pro with no international trophy. So I mean it could be anyone from MENA. Shit. I mean, this has got to be someone from Falcon.
It's got to be based off the stats alone. It's got
because think of those stats. It's them farming their region. Absolutely, it's just them just skating on the region.
It is Falcons. You are correct.
So, is it? Oh God.
It's not even the most saves, or else I'd say Ruas.
Yeah, I was like, I'm thinking it's one of the twins, but.
So your options on Falcons are Clears, Ruas, or TRK.
I'm just gonna go with Ruas.
I'll go with that stat pad. We're gonna go TRK.
It is Ruas. That was a good go. So notably,
that is crazy. Bro farmed the hell out of the region.
So it must be said, the level of competition is a little bit different, right? And I'm including all the regionals in this. So the level of competition that Ruas faced game in, game out is not the same as Drawley faced game in, game out. I would contend that the depth in EU is better than the depth in MENA. So that is part of it. But next, This is going to be an NA Pro.
Okay.
We have a game score of 60,548, 131 goals, 79 assists, 235 saves, and 0 international trophies.
Okay, so this dude's perma defense. What?
You're a hater, so I feel like this might be first killer.
It is not first killer.
It's like there's no way it's first killer. First killer is not perma defense. What?
Just deflated his stats.
Bro, just cut him down a bit. Pick 20% off the top.
Yeah. I feel like this has to be a player
So
you said they've only made one. I feel like it can't be like a person that's made all of the majors, especially with only 79 assists.
So I will say I wanted to do first killer, but his stats were like unassuming, right? It wasn't like he wasn't super high, he wasn't super low, he was kind of just there. Like,
so who's a poop perma third in NA that made majors?
last year.
Perma third made majors NA. Good lord, I'm trying to think of the rosters.
Smacking it down. It's LJ.
LJ, really? Is perma third? Give me the bear.
It is LJ.
Oh wow! What a shot! That's insane.
Good shooting. That was an awesome one.
Look, LJ was the defensive man for that team last year. What?
LJ, there's a reason that they call LJ the Kirkland Brand Daniel. They both prefer third man. They both prefer mechanics, and they like to play that deep third.
Okay. Well, I guess I wasn't paying attention to LJ.
And I know SSG ball.
Well, because like all the time, like when you're talking about LJ, you're thinking like the crazy mechanical goals, and you're not thinking that he's farming saves, but he's farming them saves. Okay.
Think about mechanical players. It's a very underrated defense because they can get to the ball.
Yeah, that's fair.
See ball, hit ball. Yep.
Okay.
And
now,
this is
I thought LJ was perma third. This next guy.
Yeah. This is an EU Pro. This is our last one. A total game score of 55,723, 123 goals, 73 assists, 257 saves, and 0 international LAN trophies.
Don't tell me this is Vatira now.
No.
No way with this low a score.
Unless
you just like, okay. So EU Pro.
Trying to just think of EU teams.
Did they make majors?
Yes.
Yeah.
They made every major and worlds.
Okay, it might actually. It might. Oh yeah, because true they didn't make major 2.
Oh,
that's right.
Wait.
You're what?
It is Vatira. It is Vatira.
I knew it.
Our blind guesser doesn't know.
I know ball.
I was looking at the 2023 stats for Vatira. I clicked on his profile on Wikipedia.
I still know ball. I'll take it.
Yeah, no.
I was like, this dude is called the best defensive player in the world right now. Then he hasn't changed his play style at all the last like 3 years. It's Vatira. I knew it. And the reason he doesn't have a high score, they weren't really losing ever. So he didn't really need to stress on defense.
He also didn't he missed a regional and
he also missed a regional. That's a lot of points you're missing out there.
Yeah. But so that being said, right, Drawley, of the people mentioned, second highest total score behind Rawas. Drawley with 132 goals, 1 behind Zen, 8 behind Atomic, 40 behind Rawas, tied with LJ, 8 ahead of Vatira. Assists, better than Zen, tied with Atomic, worse than Rawas, better than LJ, better than Vatira. 242 saves, behind Zen, better than Atomic, behind Rawas, better than LJ, behind Vatira. International trophies, 1, same with Atomic. And that is so basically, and I started this out because I think Drawley has been one of the most underappreciated, underrated players of the 2025 RLCS season thus far. I think Drawley has been incredible. And it seems that I may have been glazing Drawley last year too as a rookie.
He was rookie of the year. He was rookie.
Yeah, he was really.
Yes, but if they don't win Worlds, is he still rookie of the year?
Debate.
Can you be?
But a part of why he
yeah.
got rookie of the year was that later half the season run that they went on to take EWC, and I don't think EWC gets taken into account, but how he did in EWC and in Worlds is definitely why he got rookie of the year.
For sure.
What was that? Was there a competition even? I don't even think there was any other standout rookie like that.
No,
not really.
So I think he probably does still win it because
who else would it have been?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I knew it after that EWC performance by BDS. That was the only reason I had them in the finals. Like they look like old BDS, and I'm terrified as an NA. I was correct.
He's getting flashbacks, getting the night sweats.
I was getting PTSD, and let me guess, I was right. but I still think it's wild that I'm just like looking at these stats. Like Vatira's stats aren't terrible. Like goals, assists, saves, he has good stats, but he's a crazy amount of he's at least 5k. He's 5k points behind LJ, and he had better stats than LJ.
Well, did SSG did they make every LAN?
Did they?
They made Worlds.
Well, I'm double checking. They made London. They made Worlds.
I don't know what the first one was. I just Mates won it.
No.
They made that major. They made Major 2. They did not make Major 1.
They did. Yeah, they did. They made Major 2 and Worlds.
I remember because it was the tiebreaker with OG.
Yep. I do remember that. That's a good call.
So even with the same amount of lands made, a 5k point difference.
Yeah, that's like
while having 20 something more saves.
Yeah, so I mean, sure, he has 8 less goals, 6 less assists, but 20 more saves.
5k? That doesn't equate to 5k. Something's not adding up here.
Gotta love stats.
Is Vatira a fraud? Let's start a dialogue.
Maybe he's not getting enough demos.
Let's start the conversation.
Not enough executioners.
Oh, I thought you don't get points for demos.
I think you do for an executioner.
Not.
I heard you don't get points for that either.
Nope.
I literally just heard this the other day. It's the only reason why I know this.
You do not get stats for demos. They count, but you don't get points for demos.
If you got points, Vatira has probably he's probably 15k clear of everyone.
I want to see that RMC squad's stats for demos because they are demons with demos. I know. I was in a ranked game with them. I swear to God, Cheese demoed me 13 times in 1-3's game. 13, and it wasn't like that he was actively just headhunting me. The game he was, but just
an extermination is 7 demos. It's worth 20 points.
Oh, so okay.
7 demos? You have to get 7 demos to get 20
Is it 7? I thought it was 8.
It's 7.
Huh. Well, I mean, I very rarely see him, so it makes sense.
LJ with
Cheese would have had almost 2 exterminators in one game against me, man. What dude's a demon.
Absolute demon.
That's assault, brother.
But I thoroughly enjoyed this section. If you guys have any suggestions for people who we should do a blind resume of, I think that would be cool. Maybe taking into consideration longer than 1 season. But with Drawley only being a rookie, we didn't have a ton of historical data to go look into. And I wanted to keep it, somewhat similar, staying in the open era, with pros that have been, in, on, or around their prime, during the same time. So, but I thought that was a cool one. But, really the thing it comes down to for me, and the thing that, I may have been doing some Drawley glazing last season. Was this unexpected, or should we have seen it coming? His meteoric rise this year, right? You put him on the top team in EU, and he's maybe the top player on the top team now.
Being that he has 2 of the best assist players in the world, 2 of the best players IQ wise to be in the right spot and put you in the right spot, I think there couldn't be a better situation for Drawley and his play style. So I think they are part of the reason why he's being propped up to looking like the best in the world. But it's on top of that, his talents and his ability to finish the plays and do what is required.
Fair. And then, I can't say enough good things. We talked about it a little bit before, but Farah, right? Farah unlocked Zen and pushed them to a world championship. It certainly seems like he has found the playstyle that works best for this KC roster and has really kind of allowed Drawley to blossom into the dominant player that he's become this season so far. And, I kind of don't really see that slowing down anytime soon.
Is Farah the Batman of Rocket League? Because Farah with prep time is undefeated. You can't stop him. You just give him some prep time. He can out game plan anyone.
Shout. Like he is. He's probably the best coach. Easily the best coach in EU right now. So it's you that man whips out the whiteboard and you're in a world of hurt.
For sure. So, anything else that you guys want to add on this blind resume or anything else RLCS?
My legacy will be sniping LJ.
Fair.
I can proudly say it.
That was, you guys had some great guesses. I had a lot of fun doing the research. I'll put the link in the episode description to the Metabase spreadsheet that I pulled all these stats from. There's a lot more in-depth stats that we could do in future segments of this, but you guys it's free to look at and free to use. So feel free to peruse. It's very cool. But with that, we would like to thank everyone so much for listening. Please remember to rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. Share the show. Tell a friend. It all helps us grow our audience and improve the show. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitch, where we're currently live streaming right now. And come join our Discord. Make sure to support us by checking out our merch store and our Patreon, as this is how we will be funding the show and doing giveaways in the future. All of these links and more can be found on our website at boostoverball.com. And from us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website at boostoverball.com.